Hey YouTube, it's me, Jen, your Pudgy Picker,
And Kim.
and we are here again for our podcast this week. Two sisters,
One booth.
and today we are having podcast number 18.
18.
We're adults
18.
now.
Oh, to be 18 again.
Yeah, I'm even more double than that, boy.
Well, I was going to
That's
say,
Ooh. And today our subject is, should I run a sale? And if so, how much?
Yep. And our usual answer, yes, no.
Yes and no. So, I guess when we started discussing this or started thinking about it and brainstorming, Kim and I, we wanted to go over essentially what is a sale. Now, I know that sounds kind of silly, but with our booth, we can get special price tags. Ones that are blue, which mean the item has been marked down 50%, the price tag, that is the final price.
Yep.
And we can also have yellow tags that say special or a sale
Yep.
or a clearance, where you can get them and mark certain items down in your booth. Now, the other thing that our mall offers, and I'm sure other ones do the same, is we can approach the owners and say, we want to have a sale in our booth, and it's everything in our booth. So what they do is they put it into their computer that when your vendor number comes up, an automatic percentage is taken off. Now, that can be 10%, 50%, whatever you want, and you can schedule it for however long you want.
Yep.
You can do one day, you can do a weekend, you can do a week, you can do a month. So that is kind of what we're going to be talking about, because individually you have control over what you're actually writing a price tag and sticking it on the item.
Yep.
This would be what we're discussing, is if your entire booth is going to go on sale.
And then that would also include anything that you already have on sale would also be discounted,
Yes.
except for the blue for us. That's the final price.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you had something marked down,
Yeah.
it was $50, you have it marked down to $35, and then you do a 50% off sale, it's going to be half of $35.
Yep.
Because the computer just, as soon as it's, your number comes up, it automatically halves that amount.
Slice it. Yep.
Yes. So, I guess the good of that is that you don't have to mark anything. The management will print up signs that say, hey, vendor so-and-so, it has, this amount off. And then you have them print out 3 or 4 or whatever you need. And you hang them in your booth so that people can go by and they see that, and then they go in and look, of course.
Yep.
So, I guess that's basically what we're talking about. Now, like any other subject we discuss, this is totally personal choice. This is,
Subjective.
there's different schools of thought.
Yep.
Whether somebody could absolutely tell you how wonderful of an idea this is, and somebody else could totally tell you should never, ever, ever do it. So, and the proof of that is big corporations.
Yep.
Now, wherever you live on this planet, you see commercials all the time. And there are certain types of businesses that constantly run huge, never to be seen again until next week.
The biggest one so far this year.
Yeah, the biggest, it's kind of what you see on that is furniture, mattresses,
President's Day sales.
mattresses, and cars.
Memorial Day
I mean, these are businesses that have essentially the same type of items constantly. They're having new things come in, of course, but they have to keep things flowing. So I'm sure you can probably think in your mind how many commercials you've seen of places that constantly have 50% off sales.
Yep.
And I think of one particular furniture store in our area that comes to mind. So when you think about a company that constantly has 50% off sales, would you ever shop there when they didn't have a 50% off sale, if they have them probably every month?
Heck no.
So you're thinking, well, they're going to have that once in a lifetime 50% off sale
Yep.
next month, and then the month after that, and the month after that. So some places are big on, here's this huge price, here's this big discount. There's also, somebody was just made a comment in one of my videos, and I'll mention the business, Kohl's, who has, here's your regular price. They constantly have sales. They do Kohl's Cash. So they have these different, maybe, a way to earn points, earn dollars that are redeemable at their store.
Mm-hmm.
So when you go in and you pick up, I had a picture frame I just got in a recent haul video, and it said on it $39.99. And I think it was Drew in one of the comments said, that's not the price you ever pay.
Yeah.
So people know this about certain businesses, you think. And then if you go in,
it'll say manufacturer retail suggested price, but our price.
Or even Kohl's has their own price stickers, but it's 40% off all this type of item. And then I have, $15 in Kohl's Cash. And, so that's, so you rarely pay the full price. So I guess that's what we need to
Joann
think about.
Fabrics.
Yeah.
I never go in there and buy anything unless I have a coupon.
And a lot of times when you go in, if you have a 50% off coupon, you can't use it on a sale item. So if you go in and there's something for 30% off, you can't use your 50% off.
Yep.
And sometimes I've gone in for a specific item with that coupon and couldn't find anything I needed that wasn't already on sale.
Exactly, yeah.
Now there are the opposite end of the spectrum, and there are certain companies, and they're probably different in your area. When I think of this, there's one particular mattress company that says, we don't ever run sales. We give you the best price every day. So you have this opposite end of the spectrum.
Walmart used to always do that, too. They would say, we don't run sales because we have the lowest guaranteed price. But I never shopped there until I started working there, because it's like I don't see sale ads. That's before I got smart. When I was young and dumb.
It's just there. So there's, people say, you should always this, you should always that. Even big corporations are differing on sales, how often you should run them, how regular they should be, if you should have them at all. So, we're going to go from our experience.
Yep.
And that type of thing. So all that being said, I guess we have to ask you as a listener, why do you want to have a sale?
Yep.
So Kim, what are some of the reasons why somebody might want to have a sale?
You're going to make me talk now, too?
Yeah, your eyes are starting to drift closed, so I got to
I ate too much dinner and I'm full. No. What was the question?
The question is,
why
I'm going
you
to
want
start
to
having
have a
cue
sale.
cards here.
There we go. No.
Why?
Yes.
Why do people want to have sales?
Yeah, because that should be, in order to give you a good answer, you need to understand why you're asking that question. Are you asking that question because, say, you have a lot of stuff and it just hasn't been moving? It's been slow and you just want to get some stuff out of there. You want to get some traffic going. Is it because you have new stuff? You have plenty of stock at home and you want us to bring in new stuff. You have to make room for new seasonal items. Or are you just tired of looking at it and want to, move it out? So you have to decide why you want to have the sale in order to decide what kind of sale would benefit you the best, and then be able to move on from there.
Also, too, you think, well, if I have sale and then I have sale signs up, that's going to draw people in that might not normally walk into my booth. So that's another reason to draw people in.
And it works, but at the same, I have to say,
yes,
when I hear, oh, so and so's got a 50% off their booth, or they've got 75% off their booth, and I'm like, ooh, I gotta go look. And then I go and look, and I still wouldn't pay that price for some of the stuff that's in there.
Yeah, and the other thing that kills me is somebody will say, oh, well, so and so has 50% off their booth. They'll go over and buy something in their booth and then jack the price up twice and put it in their booth. Wow. And it's like,
I don't have a problem with that.
But if it wasn't selling in their booth, I don't know. That's kind of a...
Well, yeah, then, and once again, that depends on why the person is having the sale. There have been where it's like, I'm closing up my booth. I got to go. I just want to blow this stuff out.
Yep. We've been through that.
Yeah, so I mean, in that case, yeah, you might be able to pick up a couple good things. In some cases, maybe it's not something that would sell in our environment, but it would sell on eBay.
Yeah.
So you get it cheap enough, you can go to another venue. So even that has its pros and cons, but I mean, I don't see a problem with it unless it's just a piece of junk.
Unless it's a certain type of item, if it's just, something decorative, I usually won't if I'm for resale.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's something I can use in my own house, then I certainly would, but
Never hurts to look.
yeah, and you figure if somebody has 50% off, 40 to 50% off or more, there's usually a drastic reason why they're doing that.
Well, we've also gone to booths that have a big discount, and you walk in and say, that's still more than I would pay, because that's another angle we'll cover, as to people jacking up the price to have a sale.
So you have to think in your mall or malls you've been to, are there spaces that are constantly having sales? And we can think of some people who rarely ever
Yeah.
have a sale, and others who are constantly putting their booth on sale.
Yep.
So you got to kind of think, why are they having a sale? We know why we would have a sale, but are they putting that because sales are slow, because their stuff is just way overpriced?
Yep. Or isn't worth the price they're asking.
Yeah. So, if somebody offers you 50% off, sometimes you look at it and go, I wouldn't even pay.
Yep.
Yeah, you could take 75% off, and that's
Yep,
still too
that's-
much money. I ain't
yeah.
paying that.
That's exactly what I was saying.
So you have to think about that. Why are other people constantly running sales? So I guess it boils down to, you have to think of the reason why you want to have a sale. And if it's to move stuff out or to clear stuff out, that's all personal choice, whether you want to do that or not.
Well, in a case like that, too, if that's the reason why you want to do it, is it going to benefit you more to have your whole booth on sale and possibly lose out on some prices of things you'd really rather not go
Or
down
you
on?
just brought in.
Yes. Or would it be better for you to just take and mark down with the new sales stickers the items that you have that you want to get rid of? So, is that just how much do you have in there you want to get rid of at once?
So I guess we see a certain amount of people, too, that will have 15, 20, 25% off. And I think if people commonly do sales more than once or every other month or whatever, that seems to be the price, the percentage range they're in normally.
Yeah.
And
But see, then, and you got to remember this too. If you're going to run a sale, you have to figure out why. Once you figure out why, you got to decide on how long do you want to run it. And is this going to be a reoccurring event? Because, like she was saying about some of the stuff you see on TV, if you know that vendor has a habit of every other month putting their booth on sale for 30, 50, 75 off, if I see something I kind of like, but I don't know about the price, I'm going to wait until you know that it's about that time to have a price sale again. And then at that point, buy it. So you might be running off your business at the same time.
And if you think about it, in our business, I know certainly in our mall, I mean, we have a lot of regular customers.
Yes.
People who are literally there every week or every other week who shop our space.
Yep.
So these are repeat customers. And unlike, a huge furniture store that can come out and say, everything in the store is going to be this percentage off, our mall can't do that. Since everybody is an individual seller, some people won't have a sale, other people have a certain percentage, and other people are practically giving stuff away to get rid of it.
Yeah.
So the only time people are going to see your sale is when they're already physically in the store.
Yep.
So when you have a sales flyer or commercial, that's to get people to physically walk in the door. People who see our sale sign, if we have a sale, they're already physically there. So I think that's another distinction we need to make between our situation and a regular retail store.
Yeah.
So I guess, should we talk about what our personal experience on that is?
Oh, we're going to get raw and open here. Oh.
So, as in any subject, we are going to tell you what our opinion and our experience is. And if you choose to do it differently, that's fine. That's fine. But we're going to give you some things to think about if this is something, if you want to have a sale regularly or once in a while. I guess it all boils down to, how are you pricing your items?
Yes.
Because when you get these items in and you sit down and you make a decision how much you're going to sell it for and what you're going to put on that price tag, are you in the back of your mind thinking, I like to run sales, I'm going to run sales, so I'm going to go high on this?
Yeah.
So that's...
You have to figure that into your price.
Yes. So that is a big part of it. And I guess knowing whether you're going to do that ever or once in a while, you need to know that before you start pricing your stuff.
Yeah. Because you could really stab yourself in the foot. I mean, a lot of people, and they don't, we've talked about pricing before. A lot of people, just in the back of their head, they're like, oh, I paid $4 for this. So I'm going to ask $8 because that'll just, give me, over again what I spent on it. But they tend to forget adding in what you're, like for us, what we're paying for rent, what you're paying for credit card, or what you're paying for percentage to the store, blah, blah, blah. So when you take that $4 you thought was profit and you add all that other stuff into it, it's not going to be $4. So then on top of it, you only gave yourself $4, and now you're going to run a sale on top of what you're already going to be missing out. You're not going to get $4, maybe $3.
And if you're going to have 50% off,
that's $1.50.
You're going to lose money.
Yeah, is it like really worth having?
And if it's 25% off, that's going to be more than half. So, yeah, you have to think about that. And when Kim said, I don't know if people caught this, you have your rent, of course. That's an expense. Credit card, if someone purchases something from us and uses a credit card, we get 3% of that that amount of whatever we sold. 3% of that is taken for the credit card.
Yep.
So if we sell something, for, $10, and the store, we have an agreement with the store that we pay a certain amount in rent, and they take 10%, so they take $1. And then if it's done on a credit card, that's 3%, so that's what, 30 cents. Mm-hmm. So I mean, this is how it kind of creeps up on you, that you're not going to make that certain amount that you might thought of.
And of course, if you really want to get into it deeper than that, you've got to think. Some people do, because this is a real business for them. And you think about the time in dollars that you spent searching for the item, the time it took you to bring it home, sort it, clean it, fix it, whatever, tag it, put it in a cart, driving, gas, mileage, bringing it into the store.
Yeah. All that for sourcing.
Yes.
Yep.
And technically, if you're doing this for a job and not just for the fun of it, you have to include all of that in your pricing, which we've gone over before. But yeah, so you're going to take that last little $1.50 that you had and cut it in half. You're going to get 75 cents on that item if you have a big sale in your booth.
So are you going to make that
pricing,
sale? Yeah, you're absolutely going to make that sale if you have like an awesome percentage off of your sale. But are you going to be making money?
Yeah.
I mean, that's
much.
why it, and I'm not going to, I don't think I have any names to drop on this, but there are certain individuals in the thrifting and reselling community who will post a picture on Facebook or, other places or YouTube. Hey, look at this big pile of stuff I have going out. Look what I sold over the weekend. And you think, oh, wow, that's awesome. I wish I could sell that much. How much are they selling that stuff for?
Yeah.
I mean, if you're getting, a $5 profit and you have a whole pile of stuff, or you're getting a really large percentage but you're only selling a few things, that figures in. So whenever I see that huge pile of stuff that's packaged and ready to be shipped out.
Yeah.
Part of me's like awesome, and the other part of me's like, I wonder how much they actually made.
Yeah.
So, so I guess it gets down to what we do. So Kim, have we ever run a sale?
Not willingly. Is that a good way
I
of
wondered
putting
what you
it?
were going to say.
Yeah,
That's why I asked you.
No. We never willingly said, hey, you know what? We ought to have a sale.
Yeah. We've had a few events in the store we were in previously and the store we are in now where they say, we'd really strongly encourage everyone for a certain special event or a special weekend where we can advertise and say all vendors are having a sale of at least 10% off. And that's only happened to us like twice.
Well, but once was more or less forced upon us. They said, we expect everyone to do this for 10% or more.
Yeah.
So we got stuck doing the 10%, not willingly, and other people upped it up and made it more, but yeah, it was only one time we were forced into it.
So, yeah. So that being said, do we run sales willingly?
No.
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 Now, this is our viewpoint, and we'll tell you why that's the case.
Because we stingy. No.
Well, you know what? I'm with the corporation that says we don't run sales. We try to give you the best price up front.
Yep.
And there are people, other vendors, who have seen some of the prices on our stuff and have said, man, you're not charging enough. And this comes from a few vendors who charge a lot and run sales all the time. So, we built into our price what we paid for in money, time, effort, etc., and rent, percentage off, if it's on a credit card, all of that. So we've taken all that into consideration, and we put the price that we really want with all that considered.
Yep.
So
it's worked pretty good so far.
Yeah. And I think people who regularly shop us and customers that we regularly have, they know our prices are very reasonable.
Yeah.
Compared to a lot of other vendors there, our prices
believe
are
you
very
me,
good.
we're not giving stuff away either.
Yeah.
We are not giving stuff away. In fact, you can, when you look at our prices, I think they're reasonable. They're not outlandish. You're not waiting on a sale like a lot of the other vendors, like she said. But, they're reasonable. And we have stuff that doesn't sell. But, the thing is, now this might be, I don't know. I haven't even said this to Jenny yet.
Uh-oh.
My perception of this is, we've had stuff that doesn't sell, so we've had it a while, so we mark down that particular item.
Yes.
And then, at least maybe once a year, sometimes twice a year, we'll have that shelf in the front, and we'll have that as a sales shelf.
Yep.
And there are some things that will sell off the sales shelf, but I've noticed a lot of things don't sell off the sales shelf. So my thinking is maybe we just didn't have the right item for our audience, because we're not infallible. We still buy things
Everybody
that don't.
has duds.
So, those are our duds. But I think for the most part, we have a good eye. I think we have really good pulse on what's selling and for what price. So the few things that we have that linger are just that dud that's not going to. And in a lot of cases, we just end up donating it.
And some of the stuff that we've said, okay, we're going to mark down, even with the half off.
Yeah.
And it still sits there.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's not your price. It's people just don't want it.
And I think that in the
That's
majority...
That's hard to say because you're admitting that you picked out something that you thought would sell and you were wrong. Yeah. That's hard for some people.
But in general, it's not a lot of stuff for us. We don't mark down a lot of stuff.
No.
And we don't have, too many sales stickers in our booth, even right now, I can think of. Because usually there's some stuff that's a long tail item. It'll need to sit for a little while. till the right person comes along. But
Yeah.
you understand that when you price it and when you buy it.
Yeah.
But I mean, as for sitting and going, I just need to sell this or get it out of here, that's not a lot of stuff for us. Very small percentage.
Because you think, essentially, every store on the planet has to clear stuff out.
Yep.
Every last one of them.
Yep.
I don't care if you're IKEA or what you are. Not everything, somebody sitting in their office going, this is the new trending color. This is the new trending item. People are going to be begging for this. And not everybody... And most stores are buying so far in advance.
Yep.
For stuff to
That's
be
true.
produced and delivered to the store to be put out early for the season. I mean, even that, there's miscalculations. There's stuff that you buy that just doesn't sell. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't mean you're a bad thrifter. It doesn't mean you don't know what you're doing.
Yep.
Everybody has a learning curve, but even when you think, I'm on the top of my game, you're still not, you still can't
gonna get that.
predict with 100% certainty that it's going to sell at all, let alone at the price you want.
That's true.
So that's just the way it is, and it's not a failure on anyone's part other than you just misjudged it, It's just the way it is.
Yeah, so that's generally what we do, is we just build everything into our pricing. I think we're very reasonable with our pricing. And those few things that are having a hard time getting off the shelf, put a sale sticker on them, and then they usually go, or we get rid of them, but it's very little.
Yeah, I think mainly we do it, like after Christmas.
Yeah.
A lot of seasonal stuff.
Yeah.
And we kind of do that. We're coming to the conclusion also that spring is not
worth a lot of effort for
Yes.
us.
So when you have things that specifically say spring,
It's just too quick. It's like,
yeah,
it's sort of snow, sort of flowery outside all at the same time.
and around
And
here,
people
man,
don't really know what
you
to
go
do
from
with
having
it.
the AC to the heat on in like
Overnight.
2 days.
Well, actually, it's happened within an hour or two around
yeah,
here.
and that's crazy.
One minute you're outside in a tube top, and the next minute you're coming in for your parka. It's like,
Yeah.
what happened?
I know. It's just such a short selling season. And there are some things that I know I like, bring in fall items or winter items, and you think, it just didn't hit the right person. This is really a good item. I'll bring it back next year. But that is very slight. And then there are certain things you think, I'm not going to drag this out again next year. I'm just going to, if we can't mark it down and get rid of it, then it can just be donated. And if we do have, like, our display piece in the front that we're constantly changing, if we have that with clearance stuff on it, if those don't sell, they don't go back into the booth.
Nope.
We pack them up and out they go. So that's a definite decision, that stuff isn't lingering to the point where people go by and go, I'm looking at the same crap every week and it's not changing. Nobody wants it. It's not moving. It's getting dusty. So, yeah. So our opinion is, and what we do is, we do not run a sale. We put our best foot forward, and that is what we go on. Now, if you still feel you want to run sales, and you want to do that either regularly, quarterly, however you want to do it, you have to know that ahead of time and build that into your price. Because if you do a sale for the whole booth, and then there are a few people,
I know what you're going to say, because I'm going to say it right now.
that
Go
have
ahead.
pulled items
There you go.
out of the booth
Yep.
until the sale is over,
Yep.
and then they put them back in.
Well, I can see
We
that.
we were right on task.
Yep.
We looked at
Knew
each
it,
other and
yep,
we were like, I
knew it.
know what you're going to say.
Yep,
And there are
right where I
people
was
who do
going.
that.
Yeah, I've seen it done. I've heard them say, because they know that they just couldn't bear to lose that at that price.
Now, do you think someone shopping regularly in our mall would see certain items, and then that sale comes and they're gone, and they think, oh, they must have sold, and they come back a week later and it's back out? How would you feel as a customer? How would you'd be like, well,
Well, I don't know. I'm a different kind of customer because being in the retail like we are,
Yeah.
I'd go, oh, that was a pretty smart move.
But the average person would go, oh,
Yeah.
I see how it is. You just want to unload a lot of crap. And you took all the good
Well.
stuff home.
Well,
So,
I guess you can't fight it. I don't know.
now I will...
I've never done that. I guess I wouldn't. I could see why you would.
That's a lot of effort. Unless it's,
Just one or two items.
yeah, a few items that you think, I
'Cause I've
just
heard-
brought that in.
Yeah.
I don't want to...
That's what I've heard.
I could
Just
get
brought it
that.
in.
But, I mean, to be loading up stuff, I don't even like to take stuff home. Like, if it's been in there a while and I mark it down and it's still there, I'm going to donate it. It's not coming back to the house. Because, I don't know, I hate the idea of having to bring something back home and then think, oh, I'm going to bring it out later. I don't know. So I guess the point is, if that's what you choose to do and that's something you want to do, you have to have that in mind beforehand. And I know our last place that we were in, that we left, we had a month to leave. The first week, we marked everything down 25%. We wanted to kind of just clear everything out and start over fresh.
Because we had a lot of stuff out there.
Yes. So we literally went first week 25% off, second week 50% off, third week 75% off, the last week 90% off. And you know what I couldn't believe is how much stuff we still had.
Oh, I know.
On 10 cents on the dollar. I mean, it was just... So when we were getting ready to pack up, because we were done, I said, look around. Don't ever buy this crap again. So...
Well,
yeah.
in general, that was a good statement. But we know now, because of it being a different place, some of that may
Yeah.
have sold out there.
Well,
but
things that I did sell or didn't even sell last minute, even at that price, books. I mean, there are people who sell books. We have some books now. I have books. They are not moving. I mean, we're looking to get rid of that totally. But just books like craft books and how-to and that kind of thing, I had a lot of those. Nobody wanted them. So, and books take up a lot of space too.
and they're heavy.
Yes. So, I don't think, unless I had a bigger space out there, which we're not going to be doing, that would be something I would incorporate in. I think I would do that, different craft books and different, nonfiction and reference and that kind of stuff. I would do that. But for the space we have now, there's just no way.
Mm-mm.
So,
Yeah, that doesn't move as quick as a lot of the other stuff does.
because there's people who love books and who will buy books, but that's a low percentage of people. I mean, how many out of 100 would you say are absolute book nuts?
Well, then again, I think that's one of those categories you have to know what you're looking for to sell, because think of how many categories of books there are in
Yeah.
just one category, like fiction or nonfiction and history or learning. I mean, who's going to be selling? You'd have to know your audience again real well to
Yeah.
know what you need to take up space with or not.
Yeah. So that's our personal opinion. That's what we do in our businesses. We do not run sales. I know there's been other events in the store where it was, we're having I know around Christmas time last year, they had a special evening. They were open later than we normally are. We were talking about that in the ad team meeting today, how we were going to do that again. And they cut out holly leaves. And they would say, put a couple in your booth on items that you're going to mark half price. And then they would, do like a media blast as far as, come in, look for the holly leaf and save half. So even on something like that, we didn't mind participating because we could choose the items.
Yeah.
And it could be something that we're looking to mark down or get rid of anyway. So, stuff like that. But when you say everybody is strongly encouraged to run a sale, we did that begrudgingly, certainly.
I don't think we had a choice.
No,
honestly. I don't think we did.
It was a different atmosphere.
Yes.
At our previous place, and
Yeah.
it was you didn't want to be a team player because you're a team player. You were.
If you weren't a team player, you weren't part of the team.
If you didn't do what I wanted you to do, then you're not a team player. So
Yeah.
it was a different circumstance there, but we went along with it. It was a weekend, so, but whatever. At this point, we have control over, how we're selling and what we're selling it for. And I am perfectly content knowing that I don't run sales, because I think our prices are reasonable, and anybody who shops in there for any amount of time knows that. We have repeat customers, not only specifically for fabric or other items, but we've had people say, we make sure we always shop your booth when we're here.
I like when they say that they save it till last. 'Cause
Yeah.
It's their favorite.
That's cool.
It's like dessert, you want to hurry, want to hurry through your meal, but at the same time, that last couple bites means dessert's on its way.
Yeah, I remember
And
hearing that, and I was like, that's awesome.
Yeah, I've had places like that too. It's like I want to do that last because I really, really like to sit and enjoy and
slow down, not rush.
So we appreciate that.
So it's nice. It's very nice to have that, and to have people who are really repeat customers. With our fabric and such, when we left the other place, they don't say, oh yeah, they're going somewhere else. And we actually didn't go anywhere. We were out of the old place at the end of June. We were off July, August, and part of September, beginning of September.
Yeah.
We were nowhere for a couple of months. And then when we set up in the new mall, we would literally have people go, that's where you went.
I reckon.
We've been looking. We wondered when you disappeared. Yep. So, I mean...
Not that we had the same stuff, but we had the same general display items that we were using.
And the fabric.
Yeah,
so they
were like, this looks like it is. They were so happy.
So that's awesome, Yeah.
We have a fan following.
Yes, we do.
It's so nice.
So that's pretty cool, I mean, and that is all even despite the fact that we don't run sales. So, if people know that you're giving them a good, honest price up front, and, you're not, having a sale every other week, or you're having a once-in-a-lifetime sale every 2 months, it's, I mean, it's funny, my husband and I, if we're sitting and eating dinner, and the one furniture place that comes up, and they have this big, for the first time ever, this like theatrical trailer, we're going to give you 50% off, and, you don't have to pay, same as cash, for this many years, free delivery. I mean, they do everything but come over and feed you grapes while you're sitting on the furniture you just bought. I mean, it's crazy, because I'm like, I'll say to Mr. Pudgy Picker, oh my goodness, we better run up there now, because they're never ever gonna have it again. Or they'll say, we'll be closed Friday to price everything down, beyond reason for Saturday's sale. So it's like, yeah, okay, whatever. So, do you want to be that person that has a sale all the time, or do you want to be the person that just puts your best price forward?
And the customers that are coming in there are there. It's not like you have that building and you need people to come off the street to come in that building, in the door, because they're already there. So are you, think of that too. Is it something that's really going to benefit me, or are those people that are shopping going to always be there shopping anyway? And they're going to look at my booth when they walk past it, and if something invites them in, they're going to go.
Yeah, and if you have good stuff and you have good prices...
We do.
The sales are going to happen.
We do.
And I don't know if you noticed...
What?
Each each year in January they put out a list of the top selling booths or the top selling vendors, not booths, vendors.
Uh-huh.
And they put out a mid-year one today. Did you see it?
No, I didn't get it.
I didn't think you did.
I heard you mention it to someone.
Uh-huh. Guess who's number 4?
Oh, I thought you were 5.
No, that was last year.
Okay.
We were number 5 for the year. So for the first 6 months, I'm number 4.
Woohoo!
Aren't we awesome?
Awesome sauce.
So I'm like, and I had another vendor say, I can't believe you having, and this is people, I think they have the list, they have a list of, all time, you're the highest. We were number 7 on that one last year. Now you're talking about people who have double booths. So with our single space, then they had a top list for people who had a single booth or smaller, and we were a little bit higher on that one. So, because we had another vendor come up and say, wow, I can't believe you guys placed so high, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not sure how we did it either, but I'm, we're happy, we're doing really well. And he goes, either that or the rest of the store's not doing so good.
Doing real crappy.
I was like, wow. He just took the wind out of my sails.
Well, go back to, let's see, what number was it? Podcast about getting along with everybody and the different personalities.
Yes.
There's your prime example.
There you go.
Mr. Negativity.
It's like, you're not so great, everybody else just sucks. Oh, okay, thanks. We appreciate that.
I like you too. Have a great day. Yeah.
But that made me feel good to see,
Yeah.
that we're number 4, and that's like, that's awesome. So,
like I said, good eyes.
yeah.
For buying stuff, you got to have the good eyes.
That's when people say, do you ever garage sale with your sister? And I'm like, no, we don't. Because we would
We'd
go for
fight
the
over
same things.
We'd be running up there tripping over each other.
Yeah, or
Get out of the
tripping each
way.
other. Yeah, or
Oh,
shoving
so
each other
darn,
out of
she
the way.
fell down.
Whoops. Yeah. So, I mean, that's, I know that there's been a few people that have said, can I go garage sailing with you? There was another vendor who's the manager of our store who wanted to. And I said yes, because I know she doesn't look at the same things I do. She does a lot more furniture and other things like that. Mm-hmm. And she went with me, and she said her feet bothered her for 2 weeks afterwards. She goes, all that walking I did. And I said, I do it every week. Every Thursday, man. I'm out there. So, well, I think we answered all of the questions or all the notes we had. Anything else to add, Kimberly?
No, I guess not.
So, we give you what we do, and we let you know what works for us. You are totally free to do whatever you want. And,
everybody's circumstances are different.
The other thing I was going to mention is, since Kim and I have 2 different vendor numbers, if we ever chose to do a sale, we would both have to do the sale.
Yeah, that would
Because we are in
be
one
confusing.
space, and it would be so confusing.
Yep.
This number and not that number. So the one time or the 2 times that we did it, we both did the same thing for both of us at the same time. Because otherwise that would have been a pain in the butt for sure.
Oh, yeah. Confusing, and customers would have pitched a fit.
Yeah.
Because they don't understand, and they don't know about that, and they don't care about all that, and they don't need to know about all that.
Yeah.
They're just there for the experience of buying something, and that's it.
It's funny because there are a lot of customers who don't sometimes you have to explain to them, they don't realize it's over 100 different people in there. So, I mean, if you were to come in and to think that one person owned the whole store, wouldn't you think, man, this is really poorly organized?
Oh, really? Yeah.
Because when you go into a department store, you say, well, I'm going to go over here to look at housewares. I'm going to go over here because I need to look at, curtains, or I'm going to go over here to get some shoes. I mean, if you go in and there's shoes here and over there and maybe back there, and
Even the thrift stores have it organized.
yeah, so I mean, there has to be, if you don't understand that, there has to be that question in your mind, like, this is not set up in any logical order other than the back where we have our furniture gallery.
Yeah.
But, Yeah, especially the one lady. I want a candelabra. Where are they?
Silver. Gotta be silver.
Yeah, she could not understand why we couldn't tell her where Housewares was. And
How
she didn't
dare
want to
we.
hear it.
How dare we work here and not know?
Yeah, when somebody comes in like...
Oh, like a bat out of hell.
Yeah, and they're like, do you work here? No.
No, put your hand over your name badge.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I just sat here to cool off for a minute, yeah.
So, yeah. So, I guess that's all we have for this podcast. We hope you enjoyed it. Please.
I had so much fun.
I know. We
It's
always
so
do. It
much
don't matter if
fun.
anybody listens. We have a good
just
time.
Rattle on.
So, if you please could leave a thumbs up, leave a comment down below, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. We do these podcasts as well as I do garage sale hauls, thrift store hauls, and an occasional how-to. You can also follow me under The Pudgy Picker on Twitter. I'm always, posting funny signs or interesting things I see when I'm out and about. And if you want to ask a question, but you don't want to leave it in the comment section below, you can email me, jen@pudgypicker.com. We can answer those on when we have our next question and answer sessions coming up soon. And I've had a few people ask me or have very detailed questions, so I've been trying to answer those back. So if I haven't gotten to you, I still have your email. But and when you subscribe, please click the bell, and you will get notified as soon as I put up a new video.
Woohoo! Glad you got that memorized.
I tell you, I'm sure I forgot something.
Do what she says. There you go. How's that?
It'll go well with you if you do.
I'm being supportive.
Yes. So, until next time, we're not sure what we'll talk about, but we will be here next week with another podcast.
Yes.
So we will see you then.
Bye.
Bye.